This person is not the same with you anymore, did you notice? Even being by your side, something changed. It is no longer like before. Do not ignore this. You need to know what is happening. Read now. You know something is wrong, don't you? The looks are no longer the same, the words now sound empty, and that sincere laughter that once lit up the room no longer appears. Before you shared everything, from the small joys of daily life to the most challenging moments. But now it's as if an invisible wall has risen between you. You feel it. It's impossible not to feel it. Maybe you tried to pretend it was just a phase, that things would go back to normal over time. Maybe you sought reasons, even blamed yourself, thinking it was something you did or failed to do. But the truth is something changed, and denying it won't bring back what was lost. And you know what hurts the most? It's not just the distance. It's the fact that, even being there, present, this person seems to be somewhere else. You talk, but feel you're not being heard. You try to get closer, but feel you're being pushed away. This coldness, this indifference. It consumes you bit by bit, doesn't it? Do you remember how it all started? That sparkle in the eyes, the endless conversations, the certainty that you had something special. Where did it all go? When did it cease to exist? Maybe you can't even pinpoint the exact moment when everything started to change. It might have been gradual, almost imperceptible. Or perhaps it was something sudden, like a door that closes without warning. What remains is this emptiness, an emptiness that hurts, that questions, that screams inside you. You want answers, but you don't know where to start. Does this person still care? Is there something you can do to bring back what you used to have? Or is it deep down already over and only you haven't accepted it yet? The worst part is the uncertainty. You catch yourself analyzing every gesture, every word, every silence, trying to find clues, trying to understand what changed. But the truth is, no matter how hard you try, only that person can answer. And sometimes, even if you ask, the answers won't come. Or worse, the answers might be exactly what you fear to hear. You need to face this head-on. Pretending everything is fine only prolongs the pain. It's time to act, to seek clarity, to confront this situation. It's not easy, I know. Facing the unknown never is. But you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to know where you stand. You deserve, above all, to be valued, respected, loved. Now it's up to you. Are you going to keep waiting for things to change on their own? Or will you take the first step to understand what's really happening? Will you continue to nullify yourself in the name of something that might already be over? Or will you fight for your own well-being? The choice is in your hands, and don't forget you're not alone. As much as it may seem like a dead end, there are paths. The important thing is not to lose yourself in this journey. Keep your essence, your strength, and above all, your dignity. Have you ever thought that sometimes the biggest challenge is not what the person does or doesn't do, but what you feel when you notice the growing distance between you? It's not about small arguments or misunderstandings. It's about a profound change, something that seems to corrode the connection you had. And you feel it every day. It's like living with an absent presence, like looking at someone and no longer recognizing what once seemed so clear. It's no use pretending you don't notice. It's there in the way silences linger, in the way responses become automatic, disinterested. That genuine curiosity about your day, your feelings, your dreams has disappeared. And it hurts, because deep down, all you wanted was for this person to care again, to be who they once were. But does this person realize the impact this has on you? Do they understand how much this coldness destroys you inside? Maybe not. Maybe they're so focused on other things that they don't even notice the chasm forming between you. And in the meantime, you carry the weight of trying to maintain something that seems to be crumbling. And then comes the dilemma. To what extent is it worth insisting? How fair is it to hold on to something that apparently only you still value? These questions are cruel, I know, but they are necessary. Because you can't continue living like this, stuck to something that instead of bringing happiness, only causes anguish and doubt. Have you caught yourself thinking about what has changed in you because of this? How, little by little, you began to doubt yourself, your worth? How the nights that were once peaceful are now filled with thoughts that give no respite? You keep replaying every detail, every conversation, looking for signs that explain what happened. But the answers never come. And the reality is that maybe this person has already made a decision. Maybe, without even realizing it, they've started to distance themselves, to prioritize other things, to leave you behind. Not because they don't care, but because people change, circumstances change. But that doesn't justify what you're feeling now. It doesn't justify the lack of clarity, the lack of respect in simply being honest about what's happening. You deserve more than this. You deserve someone who is truly present, who chooses to be by your side, not because it's convenient or because it's comfortable, but because they want to be there. Someone who values what you have, who sees how important you are. And if that person cannot or does not want to be that for you, then maybe it's time to rethink what you're trying to save. I'm not saying it's easy. It never is. Leaving behind someone you love or who once meant so much is one of the most painful things there is. But sometimes it's necessary, because continuing to insist on something that only brings pain is not love, it's self-sabotage, and you deserve something better. Now ask yourself, what do you really want? And more importantly, what do you deserve? Don't let the fear of losing someone stop you from seeing how much you are losing yourself in this process. It's time to act. It's time to face this situation head-on, no matter how difficult it may be. Maybe you need to have that conversation you've been putting off for so long, that conversation that might bring the answers you so desperately seek, but that might also confirm your worst fears. Yes, it's scary, but the alternative, continuing to live in doubt, in emptiness, in pain, is even worse. And if in the end, that person decides they really don't want to be by your side anymore, know that it doesn't diminish your worth. It is not a reflection of who you are, but of the choices they made. And while that is hard to accept, it is also liberating. Because it means that you can finally start to heal. You can finally start to seek something or someone that truly aligns with who you are and what you deserve. You are not alone in this process. Everyone faces such moments, moments when they must choose between continuing to fight for something or moving forward. And as unbearable as the pain might seem now, it won't last forever. One day you will look back and realize that even amidst the pain, you made the right choice. You chose yourself. But now it's time to decide. What are you going to do? Continue waiting for something to change, for that person to become who they were, or take the first step to get out of this situation? The choice is yours. And as difficult as it may be, you have the necessary strength to do what needs to be done. You are at this critical point where the weight has become unbearable. Each passing day without answers seems to steal another piece of you. And meanwhile, this person goes on with their life, perhaps without even realizing the impact they are having on you. It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts because you care, because you have invested time, energy, and emotion. But the return, where is it? How many times have you thought about starting a definitive conversation, but backed out at the last moment? Not because you lacked words, but because you feared the reaction. Would this person understand? Would they care at all? Or would you only hurt yourself more by facing indifference? The truth is that this hesitation only prolongs what you know you need to do. You feel it deep down, even if you try to ignore it. The worst part is realizing how this affects not only the relationship, but also who you are. You are no longer the person you were before this change. The joy you carried has turned into worry. The confidence you had in yourself is now marred by doubt. You constantly question whether you did something wrong, if you could have prevented this. But the reality is that often this has nothing to do with you. People change. Feelings change. Circumstances change. This is one of the most painful truths we must face. But someone's change cannot justify your destruction. You cannot let another person's emotional absence consume what is most valuable to you: your balance, your essence, your worth. If you still believe there is something to be saved, then it's time to act. Not passively, waiting for the situation to resolve itself, but actively seeking the truth even if it's hard to face. Ask, confront, seek clarity, say how you feel. Don't expect this person to guess, because believe it, they often don't even realize the damage they're causing. And if, even then, the response is silence, coldness, apathy, then you'll have your answer. It won't be easy to accept, but it will be liberating. Because you'll know that you did everything you could, that you didn't stand still while your happiness crumbled. And that matters. It matters because it's a sign that you are choosing yourself. even when it seems like the world is collapsing. Now, a direct question for you. How much longer are you willing to wait? How much more are you willing to sacrifice before realizing that you deserve more? It's not about giving up. It's about understanding that true love, true connection, should not be a burden. It should be a relief, a support, a space where you can be who you are without fear of being rejected. Think about it. Reflect deeply. What do you want? Not what this person can or cannot offer, but what do you want for your life? What is your vision of happiness? And honestly, does this person fit into that vision? Or are you holding on to the past, to who they once were, to what you once were together? As difficult as it may be, it is time to face this situation with courage. Not with anger, not with resentment, but with the clarity that you deserve more. You deserve a full life, a genuine relationship, a connection that doesn't need to be forced. This is not asking too much. This is the minimum. The journey will not be easy, and there will be days when you may feel lost. But remember, every step you take towards the truth, your truth, is a step towards freedom. You will come out stronger from this, more aware of who you are and what you deserve. Are you ready to do this? To finally seek the answers you need and, if necessary, to start rebuilding yourself. There are no easy answers here, but the choice is yours. And you know deep down what you need to do. You have come this far because something inside you is screaming for answers. The feeling of being next to someone who no longer seems the same is suffocating, almost unbearable. You tried to ignore it, to pretend it wasn't happening, but now you can't. Every empty look, every cold word, every prolonged silence only confirms what you already know. Things have changed. And no, it's not your fault. It's time to stop seeking justifications in what you did or didn't do. Some changes happen without warning, and we don't always have control over them. But there is something you can control, the way you react to this. How long are you going to allow yourself to live in this uncertainty, in this emotional void? You have given everything of yourself. Now, it is your turn to receive. The truth is that insisting on something that has no reciprocity only distances you from who you really are. The more you wait for this person to return to the way they were, the more you lose the chance to live something true, whether with this person or with someone who truly values you. What you are doing is carrying a weight that is not solely yours. And this is not fair. The time has come to act. Look this person in the eyes and ask what is happening. Say what you feel. It's not about pointing fingers, but about seeking the truth. Because without it, you are trapped in a cycle that only hurts you more each day. And what if, in the end, the answer is not what you expect? If that person truly isn't there like before? Yes, it will hurt. It will seem like the end of the world for a while. But believe me, it's the beginning of something greater. It's the moment when you choose yourself, choose to free yourself from doubt and make room for something new. And that freedom is precious. It gives you back the strength you forgot you had. You don't need to accept emotional crumbs. You don't need to settle for someone who is by your side out of habit, not by choice. Life is too short to waste on relationships that don't make you grow, that don't feed you with love and respect. And this is not selfishness. This is self-love. Now I want to know from you, have you gone through something like this? How did you face it, or how are you facing it? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might be the light someone else needs to gather the courage to act. If this text made sense to you, subscribe to the channel. We are building a space to talk about what truly matters, without filters, without masks. Leave your like, share it with someone who is going through this and needs to hear these words. Remember, you deserve more, you always have. And the first step to achieving that starts now. We are together on this journey.